Hello, welcome to the Backscatter tutorial, where we're going to teach you how to use Backscatter and the different options and commands available for you. After you've opened your image, you need to be able to zoom in and out and pan around in order to select the best areas to remove Backscatter at. You can use the commands up here to zoom in and out, or to make it easy, your scroll wheel will zoom in and out of your image, and you can simply hold down your left mouse button to pan. The first command I'm going to show you is the select multi. It selects multiple backscatter in a rectangle that you draw. It is probably the most versatile tool for selecting backscatter that you want to process and fix. Simply select the command and then draw a window around the backscatter. You may find that sometimes you won't find any backscatter. That's because when you initially open a new photograph, the software finds backscatter based on the size of the box that you drew. Once you've found backscatter and processed it, it will find it based on the size of the last backscatter, so it learns as you go along. In order to assist the software in finding backscatter of the size that you want to remove, go select the Find More button up here, and the software will decrease the size of backscatter that finds, also decreasing how round the backscatter needs to be. This can be selected multiple times until you've found all the backscatter in that area that you want. Once you've found the backscatter, you may find that the software has found some that you don't want to process. Something that's actually in the background, like a bubble or a fish. If you want to remove those backscatter from the ones that are going to be processed, simply move your mouse over the backscatter and select on there. And that will be removed, and those will no longer be part of the backscatter that are processed. Once you're satisfied with how many backscatter are going to be fixed, select the process button and your backscatter will be processed and removed. Next to select multi is select single. This is sort of a specialized version of the previous command, which is used to select a single piece of backscatter. It bases the size of the backscatter basically on the rectangle that you draw. What you want is a rectangle that's roughly twice the size of the backscatter. And then it'll find it and process it. Sometimes you'll find areas of backscatter that can't be selected using either select multi or select single. In that case, you want to use select circle. In this case, you have to actually help the system by drawing a circle around the backscatter. Here's an example of one that can't be selected simply because it's too close to this brighter area. No matter what I do, I can't get the backscatter selected. So I use select circle and select 3 points on the edge of the circle of the backscatter, and then I can process it. Here you've seen one of the limitations of backscatter, and that is that it's picked up the color close to the backscatter that I've processed. In order to handle this, you can simply do undo, select this command. It's called color block. Once you have color block turned on, it will block the color from bleeding in, and then redo. And it says reprocess the backscatter, select yes, and it'll reprocess it. Another option that's available for selecting and processing backscatter is over here, and it's called smooth. When it's turned on, it turns blue, and then when you select the backscatter, it goes ahead and uses special algorithms to smooth that into the background. This is especially good if you have a very smooth background like the ocean. Another example of backscatter that's going to have color problems can be seen here, where we have a backscatter right next to something that's very bright. Here I'll use select one to select that backscatter and processes it, and you see it's not very good. That's because the color has bled into the backscatter. Turn on color block, do undo and redo, and it reprocesses the backscatter using the color block. Another option that's available to us when we go to select backscatter is select thin. This command's over here, and when it turns blue, it's on, and it lets you find backscatter that looks like this, where it's all skinny. Since the Finder usually tries to prefer finding round backscatter, this command lets us go when you find all of these backscatter, but I don't recommend keeping it on unless you really have a lot of thin backscatter like in this picture. Once we've found it, we can process it away. The last command we have for selecting backscatter is select small. This is used after you've removed the main backscatter from your picture and you still have those little specks that you need to get rid of. So use select small the same way. Draw a rectangle around that area you want to remove, and it'll find those very small backscatter, and then you can process them away. Backscatter has a user interface right on your image that allows you to control most of the options needed for processing backscatter without having to go to the icons. When you have a red dot in one of these rectangle commands, you'll be able to activate that command simply by double-clicking on the image. Then you can draw your rectangle, see what was found, use find less to remove the smallest of the backscatter, find more to find more of it, cancel on the left side, and process on the right. As soon as you're done processing, you're back in the mode to move until you double click again. Using this type of interaction, you can process most of your backscatter without having to go to the icons. Next to the select circle command is the select split. This is a specialized tool which is only used on backscatter which are half on and half off the background and the foreground of your image. It works the same way as the select circle. You use 3 points to define the backscatter. If it finds multiple areas of backscatter, you'll see this type of image on the screen, and then you can process it. This is very much a experimental tool. I've only used it on a few images. So if you have anything that looks like this and you want to try it out, please do and send it to me so I can work on it more. Thanks. One final option that we have for selecting backscatter is the Find Red button. Here we see a red piece of backscatter, basically due to the color correction that I put on this photograph. I tried to select it using select one, and because of the background, it can't find it no matter how many times I select the plus sign. This command, Find Red, will find that backscatter based on the red channel of the photograph. Then when it processes, it only processes the red channel, still leaving the detail in the other channels. That concludes the backscatter tutorial. I hope you found it interesting and it will help you learn how to use backscatter. Please contact me with any questions or comments as you do the beta testing. Thank you.